welcome to this week's edition of Staying Connected. A couple things that we want to talk about today and kind of inform you of. As you're aware, this last Sunday we decided to pull back and not meet due to the spike in COVID numbers here in Ventura County as they're spreading around. And so we met this week, staff and elders, and we have made the decision that we are going to wait now for regathering again. We're not sure when that's going to be, but we're going to just keep watching how the numbers pan out, and when maybe things start to flatten a little bit more, we can talk about it again. We are just so concerned about everyone's health and safety and care for our members here and care for our community as well. And so we're going to continue doing what we've been doing through this whole COVID time and staying connected like this and through our small groups and in any other way that we possibly can. Speaking of small groups, I've been so encouraged to see the participation of our church in the book, reading the book, The Myth of Equality. 140 plus people have taken a copy of that book. But in addition to that, we have set up 6 discussion groups, and those have been going on now for the last couple of weeks. They have been really incredible times of discussion about the book, really fruitful, really honest and transparent, a lot of give and take. And so I've been so encouraged to see our people doing that. But one of the things that came out of that as a byproduct is as I'm looking at these groups meet, I'm so encouraged that people are coming together to just have fellowship. And I keep wondering about those of you who are not part of a small group. And I really think it would be such a great opportunity for you now to think about becoming a member of one of our small groups here at CCTO. And with that, I'm going to let Tim Buchanan come and talk about that for a few minutes.
Hey, church. A couple years before COVID hit, one of the things that we really felt as a church leadership that God was calling us to was to really dive deeper into the idea of discipleship and community. And one of the ways that that has played out for us is in placing an emphasis on small groups in our church. It was something that we did as an act of faith and obedience. We felt like God was calling us to that as a church. And boy, are we grateful that we follow God's leading into that. I've been talking to some friends of mine who are in ministry and people who are parts of other churches around the state and around the country. And one of the things that I've become aware of is the churches who have strong small group life within their community, they're doing okay right now. And the churches who have very weak or non-existent small group ministries in their church are really struggling. And so we are exceptionally grateful that God led us to this place of really valuing and placing a high priority on small groups in our church because it's something that's kept us going, kept us motivated, kept us thriving as a church community through this pandemic. Small groups have really become one of the heartbeats of our church. And for those of you who are part of a small group, you understand why. These are the places where you guys are able to find community, where you're able to be prayed for and to pray for one another. These are the places where you're able to dive into Scripture together and hear what the Spirit of God is saying in the midst of an otherwise very uncertain time in our world. So one of the things that we want to do today, just in this brief video, is first of all, just encourage you. If you're part of a small group, keep going. This is something that's going to keep our church healthy and keep our church thriving until the world becomes whatever it's going to become in the next few months here. So keep going with that. And in addition, what we want to do is say, if you're not part of a small group, we want to encourage you to join. This is really one of the most meaningful ways for you to be part of our church community here, is to be part of a small group. So there's a link at the bottom of this video, and you can go to our website, ccto.org, and click on the Small Groups tab under the Ministry section of the website. And you can click the link there to join a small group or to at least give us some information so that we can look for the best place to get you set up in community. So I'm going to make this a really brief video today, but the one thing that I want to encourage you is if you're watching this video, there's a decently good chance that you're already part of a small group community. So if that's the case for you, what I'd love for you to do is just allow God for a moment to bring to mind someone for you who is connected to our church community or maybe needs to be connected, but is not yet part of a small group. So if you can allow God to call someone to mind for you that is not part of a small group that you think would really benefit from that, what I want to encourage you to do is just as an act of faith, would you send them a link to the form that's at the bottom of this video so that they can give us some information and we can hopefully get them connected to a small group. Or if you want to have some more conversation about that, you can email me, tim@ccto.org. If you have any questions about what that might look like, or if you know someone who is in need of a small group community, I'd be more than happy to talk with them and help get them set up in that way. So keep going if you're in a small group. If you're not, consider getting dialed into one. And if you know someone that needs to be part of a small group, send them some information about it, and we would love to get them connected.